Hello there, good people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. 4:40 here in the morning. It's weekend in Bangladesh now. Friday is our weekend. So today, it's odd hours to wake up, but it's kind of peaceful at this time. We can do reviews and videos without any noise and outside disturbance. Everybody's asleep, so I like this time a lot. So sort of like you can see, just took a shower. Was feeling a bit, after waking up, nice dinner and late dinner and all that, and then have double shotted coffee. So my plan today to do is a sort of like time travel back in the past. Okay, is going to be like a you know tour back, looking back in our fragrance community since I started my journey. I have covered many fragrances, bought many, used many, and I want to discuss like 20 fragrances, revisit them rather, from different types, designer, niche. I don't think I have that many, but designer and Middle Eastern. Most popular fragrances are in general like most of the designers, right? So this fragrance got huge hype, huge love, lot of sales selling point. Like this fragrance sold a lot. So I'll give you my thoughts where they stand today and how I feel about them. 20 fragrances from back in the time. So here we go, without any honorable mention. And obviously some fragrances were missing, like as you can see, Aventus, I put it purposely there. Many of the fragrances, Pure Mall, Pure Havan, these fragrances I did not put there. Doesn't mean that they are not the top sold or most popular. Yeah, I just want to discuss these 20 today. Okay, so first of all, let's go with the classic Acqua Di Gio. Okay, this fragrance still is in the market. Okay, I'll let you know if some of the fragrances here are discontinued, but this is still in the market, still in production, and it sells like hotcake. Okay, I noticed this in Bangladesh especially. I saw it in Malaysia also. The salespersons told me this fragrance still sells a lot, still expensive, and people still buy it. After severe, like how to say, they reformulated this, like the potency is not as much, but the smell is still classic. Okay, just absolutely love Acqua Di Gio, which is why I'm showing you this one instead of the Perfume or some of the other flankers. And I think it's a still stunning perfume for nostalgic reasons. It can bring back memories. Yes, it's lighter, it's aquatic, but the thing is, the fragrance still evokes that feel of, good old times. So Alberto Morias's creation, Acqua Di Gio, still a classic in my humble opinion. But this one, the for the younger crowds, perhaps a little bit dated, but it doesn't stop the sale. So it's still pretty popular. Acqua Di Gio is still going strong. After that, our community, another fragrance we actually sort of hyped, or reviewers hyped up, is La Male. And if I don't talk about La Male, it will be sort of like a crime, because La Male is the one that started journey for great reviewers like Mark. This was one of his first signature scents. He loved it. He went through multiple bottles. He's my fragrance guru. I learned most of my things from him. So La Male, today's affair, again, it will, for the younger crowds, it may feel a little bit dated, like a little bit mature. They have a lot of new version, La Male Le Parfum, Le Beau. You guys know there are many out there, okay, but ultra male. But I think La Male has, again, just like the Acqua Di Gio, has its crowd. Whoever used it in their youth, in the school back in the time, they're growing up and still perhaps keeping one bottle, and still, luckily for us, it's still in the market. So this is a little bit cheaper than back in the days, but still not super cheap. This is more on the higher side of designers. I think this fragrance, it's, if you ask me, like Acqua Di Gio and this, are they on the same popularity level at this current moment? Perhaps not. This one, not many people look for this perfume in Bangladesh. I notice not going like super fast or super popular, like a hot item. This is not a hot item. Sometimes being sold, sometimes it's okay, like this popularity is still holding okay, but not faded away. Okay, so it's still holding the position, like, fair bit with the crowds, like who used it back in the days, that mint, lavender, vanilla, all those things, and tonka. Still a good fragrance, but I feel at this moment it's not selling a lot. So it doesn't mean anything, but just let you know, maybe it's not happening that much. Okay, so the next one is the reason I am holding back Aventus today. This is the Hype Beast CDNIM, one of my first reviews that got a lot of views. Of course, this is not my doing, but in Bangladesh, after I reviewed this fragrance sort of became sold out. Prices went high, and I'll take the full credit because I made this fragrance popular in Bangladesh. I absolutely stand by that. Back in the days, I reviewed every single version of it, but nowadays I'm a little bit tired. There are too many versions of it, and they just put almost the same juice under different name. Parfum, this, that, special edition, limited edition. But CDNIM basically stays a little bit in the synthetic lemony opening. I don't like that opening that much. But Armaf did a fantastic job with the longevity. Still, the newer batches, they last a long time on me, and the dry down smells very fantastic, but you can tell after use for a while it different from Aventus or some of the other clones. CDNIM actually already made a brand name by itself from Armaf. So this one's still popular, selling a lot. People buy 200 ml, other version oil. I think this one is going pretty strong. CDNIM, because it's affordable. This one still is selling, is popular. I wear it once in a while. Let's say I'm going out casually. I'll spray like 1 hour before I leave on the shirt, and then I'll get the desired dry down, which is the beautiful part. CDNIM by Armaf, Club New Intense Man. Next one, I'm going to show back-to-back two Rasasis, and these are both very popular. Rasasi Hawas, I think, is the most popular fragrance in community from the Middle Eastern houses altogether for summer. Reason being, people compare this with old OG Invictus Aqua 2016. For me, they are different enough, but both are fantastic. I cannot find that Invictus Aqua anymore, but this one you can still find. A really beautiful bottle and juice color, lasts a long time. Really nice, fresh, musky, sweet, aquatic fragrance. And whenever you, I notice one thing, since I do reviews, I'll tell you one thing. This is one of the, it came into my suggestion box, like what is the search result for people, which word they search for most. Rasasi House is the most sought out and most searched fragrance on YouTube, and that's why I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's where I know the popularity of this. This is still pretty good. The thing is, like, this is nothing extraordinary at this point. There are many other options right now, but this fragrance on its own, for the price, I think it's held its value very, very well. Didn't drop in the pricing. I think everyone can try Hawas by Rasasi. This is one of the really nice projecting strong fragrance. I think Hawas is something I really love still. Okay, so number 4 is Hawas. Number 5, obviously the blue beast of the Rasasi game, not interlude quite, but Rasasi Shuhrah. This is the baby I made famous a lot in Bangladesh. This fragrance nobody knew when I got this, when I started reviewing. Of course, in the world, people knew, but still people know that the way I enthusiastic, I use some naughty words, this and that. This made Rasasi Shuhrah popular. The reason being, the main reason is not my hype. The main reason of these fragrances are, strong point, longevity, and how crazily this one projects, like it's literally like nuclear projection. It has fruitiness, sweetness, and it got this ashy tobacco, leather, oud, all these things in this. So Rasasi Shuhrah, this again, just like Rasasi Hawas, very popular, good for winter days mostly, but this is still a crowd favorite. This one sells a lot in Bangladesh, one of the top sellers in every single page. Rasasi Shuhrah, if you never tried, try it. So 5 is gone. Number 6, let's continue the blue juice. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense EDP for men. Okay, so Light Blue Eau Intense Purom EDP, there's a long name. This basically is a more amped up version of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, which I have in the corner somewhere there. Yeah. That fragrance I never really liked that much. This one I like a lot more. It's a lot more soothing, a lot more cooling, a lot more, citrusy, aquatic, less pepper, and long lasting. Okay. This fragrance sells like hotcake. I'll tell you from my point of view, from my Decant page or wherever people are selling. This one gets sold out every single time I bring it, and other sellers bring it. People ask for it. This one, YSL YDP, people keep asking for it. Do you have a 200 ml? Do you have this fragrance? This one sells like hotcake. Still a very popular fragrance, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. Definitely you should give it a try. And I would say this one still is ahead of my other favorite, the Forever one. Forever one is very, very good, very nice grapefruit, but I would say the Light Blue Eau Intense is more popular. Next, you guys recognize this one, Bvlgari Aqua Amara. This one officially, sadly, discontinued few years back. And this one actually, I would say big credit goes to Jeremy, who hyped this up, and I bought this because of a hype. People don't admit these things. I do. Amara, I bought. And the day I bought it, the next day, Jeremy's video was, I was still in Malaysia, and I woke up, his video was like, he was sitting outdoors, and he picked this up as number 1 summer fragrance. Obviously, nowadays, people, have different opinions, but Amara, still for me, is one of the most unique designer fragrances, okay? You can say whatever you want, but Dylan Blue, this, Aqua Atlantic, all of them are fantastic, okay? This one or Dylan Blue, either way you go, you cannot go wrong, but that earthy orange, and then very unique, the orangey note with that, a little bit of salty sea accord. You cannot go wrong with this fragrance, very unique still. If you cannot find it, that's because the shortage of supply nowadays, okay? I would say Bvlgari Aqua Amara is still one of my favorites, and people still buy this whenever they say they pay extra money to buy this in Bangladesh. So Bvlgari Aqua Amara still is very, very hot, even though after discontinuation. After that, after this one, this is a true classic. I always show you this one. I always use, and I plan to buy a 200 ml someday soon. This is what I'm wearing right now after the shower. This is Hugo Boss bottled. Those who are from this era, they know this fragrance has value. This fragrance has tremendous love, outside Fragcomm, before reviews. This fragrance was literally the fragrance that sold everywhere. People bought this like crazy. Crazy as in like, I would say, if you're going to go Hugo Boss, you're going to buy this likely out of 10 fragrances, 6 or 7 fragrances in Malaysia. So this is the one that gets sold. The other ones are popular too, but for me, number one Hugo Boss is always this one. The Boss Bottle Oud, some of the other good ones are good, but I think this is the most popular, remains popular, never ever gets discontinued, never. Still sells at very good price point. But if you get it at discounters, you'll get better price than like retail outlets. Hugo Boss bottle, that beautiful apple, cinnamon, like a happy, citrusy, sweet fragrance you can wear almost all year round. Very beautiful fragrance. Classic, true classic everywhere. People recognize this. Hugo Boss bottled, my love. After that, let me show you a fragrance. This is hyped by the guy who actually introduced it. I was talking about Jeremy. And this is a fragrance. I reviewed this one and Date for Men. He has quite a few other ones, but this is the one that got most hype. He hyped it to the max. And this one gets talked about the most. Love or hate, doesn't matter. And at first, I told you, this fragrance juice, I had 2 complaints about it. One thing is that cap. Presentation is not very posh. I still say the cheapest looking cap here. And the bottle, the sprayer, like doesn't evoke very like $250, that sort of price tag. But apart from those, nowadays you can buy, I think I don't know what's happening with this brand, but if you can get this under $120, $130, this fragrance is a pretty good buy because the juice inside is a pretty long lasting one and it's very pleasant one. I would say this one smells more crowd pleaser than Aventus itself. It's a big statement. It's just my humble opinion, but many places I've shown Aventus, people are not impressed. Perhaps people don't know the greatness of Aventus, how is the king. But people actually sometimes prefer this over even Dior Sauvage, So I would say this fragrance is holding up its value still pretty much. People talk about it, it's very popular. Even the haters, like unless they are super haters, most people admit that this fragrance lasts long. It smells crowd pleaser. It's like a combination of a lot of popular fragrance and it gets complimented. That's what you're looking to achieve with this perfume, and it does. So I would say Office for Men is still pretty happening. I hope it doesn't go up in price. Next one, Terre d'Hermès. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit fast now because I don't want to make it 25 minutes. Terre d'Hermès, this one right here. Perhaps not everybody is hyped up about this, but this one is a big name in fragrance community. If I ever make top 20 designer perfume of all time or 10, this will make it because of its uniqueness, earthy orange. And then I think it's got vetiver. It's just a very different, unique kind of fragrance. I see super extremely beast mode. Years after release, many fragrances, they lost their potency. This one never did. So I would say Terre d'Hermès still remains a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. You just have to learn how to adapt to this fragrance. And once you understand, you will enjoy this a lot. Beautiful fragrance, Terre d'Hermès EDT. So 10 are gone. Let me have one more sip at the coffee. Okay, now we have next 10. By the way, I did not put this according to like a ranking or anything. These are just 20 fragrances, okay? Let's go one of the biggest fragrances in fragrance committee name is Dior's Fahrenheit. Nowadays, nobody will mention this because newer reviewers, perhaps they are more keen to review more niche or brand new flankers. But sadly, there's no flanker of Fahrenheit being released by Dior, which is sad because a lot of other fragrances, they are not as popular as Fahrenheit. They're releasing like 10 every year. I'm just joking. But Fahrenheit, Dior's Fahrenheit for me, if you go to practically speaking, I went last time 2016 Dior boutique, KLCC, Malaysia. That time I saw this fragrance, nobody asked for it. People asked for mostly Dior Sauvage and Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Sport, but nobody asked for Fahrenheit. But that doesn't mean this fragrance is no longer popular. It's still a very cult classic. Like I noticed people wearing this, like let's say 30, 40-year-olds. When I pass them by, let's say at a place where people are likely to wearing fragrances, I smell this DNS still, but not quite as much as something like Aventus or CDNIM or, Dior Homme Intense. Those are more popular. This one right here, I would say perhaps is not the highest selling point, but this fragrance remains as big. Nothing beats the creativity of Fahrenheit. I actually can tell you, if you put this on and if you know the gasoline smell this is popular for, you'll get that when you stop by a petrol station or diesel. When those big trucks pass by or people are refueling, you'll get the smell of Fahrenheit. This one is a 2012 version, more amped up. I would say Fahrenheit for me is still a beautiful big fragrance. This is the best Dior fragrance alongside Dior Homme Intense, which is coming up in a while. But not perhaps the highest selling point. People do not go to shops ask for it, but popularity may went down. The perfumes, I never lost appetite for this Fahrenheit. Beautiful fragrance. After that, one of the most popular fragrance committee everywhere, every group, Versace Eros. Okay, is it discontinued? I do not know. EDP, Perfume, and the other, like the Eros Flame. Eros Flame is also taken down, discontinued. But Versace Eros remains very easy, sweet, with the mint, citrusy opening with the vanilla and tonka dry down, and the green apple. This fragrance is just so sharp. The best thing about this fragrance, this women love this perfume. People who want to achieve that, this is the kind of fragrance they wear, and still lasts a long time. Just go on the shirt a little bit more, and if you go clubbing, I recently featured it once again. Versace Eros is lovely. It's a classic. Still sells. Versace Eros is a top-selling fragrance in Bangladesh from this house. Okay. After that, let me show you Chanel. Chanel Allure Sport. So some of you will be like, hey, isn't like Allure Sport or Extreme more popular? I understand. But before Eau Extreme, this was the hype. And this is something similar to something that's coming up in a while. You guys know what that is. But Allure Sport, I feel one of the best fragrances to wear if you want to smell fresh and up class at the same time. This one is not that sporty in my humble, never was. But the creaminess with that neroli, and it has a lot of musk. It's just beautiful, beautiful, long-lasting perfume. Sometimes I smell it on people and I get confused. I know that DNA, but I cannot remember the name, right? This one is a little bit sour on my skin, but on my shirt, beautiful fragrance, Nowadays, perhaps it's not selling as much, okay? The sales have slowed down in Bangladesh, but I don't know about Chanel Boutique, perhaps this still sells. But remains one of the great fragrances, like if you want to smell confident, like you want a little bit performance. You go with this with a suit also. You can never go wrong in a summer's day. Chanel Allure Sport, beautiful fragrance, worth the money. Even it's better than Eau Extreme in my humble opinion. Eau Extreme is good, but doesn't really, for me, doesn't do it as much as this one does, okay? Allure Sport, amazing fragrance, 10 out of 10. Next, heavy bottle, big bro. This one is Thierry Mugler Angelman. I have a metal flask version. Mostly you'll see a rubber version. Normally you'll see Thierry Mugler's in the rubber, the black rubber sort of a container they sell, but these ones are special edition. They release once in a while. This one is that granddaddy of all those pure heaven and pure mold. This is the one responsible for all those flankers. Is it still selling? I don't think people are searching for this anymore. It's been a long time, Thierry Mugler sadly passed away recent times, and his legacy will carry on with this fragrance still. Do you know why? Because the most mysterious fragrance, it's got the highest nose breakdown in many designer fragrances. One of the most complex fragrances, the coffee, patchouli, tar. You guys know mint, chocolate, and I get leather, a lot of these other notes. This one, actually at this moment, I do not see people looking for this. People look for pure heaven, pure malt more, okay? No problem. But this one, Thierry Mugler Amin, you will actually see people crave for it once in a while. If you want to smell like, I want to smell like back in the days, the OG days, where Acqua Di Gio, La Mal were ruling. This was one of the kings, okay? Thierry Mugler Angelman, now it's I would say Hall of Famer, and not perhaps being sold that much, but I love this perfume, okay? But it's strictly for colder months. It's too much for warm weathers. But check out Amin, the older batches, if you can find Thierry Mugler version, still pretty good, okay? So after that, this was, when this was released, I was not very impressed by this fragrance. I actually liked Prada's Amber Puro more, but in time, I began to love Prada L'Homme. And Prada L'Homme now is more popular than most Pradas in their house. Prada Amber Purum is my favorite, but this is more popular in the world. Why? Because it's so easy to wear. It's so easy, iris, very soft in nature. It's like, kind of like cooling, moist, floral, very inoffensive and white shirt sort of fragrance for warmer days. There's no hatred on this fragrance, I can understand that, and it's like one of those popular guys, okay? Prada L'Homme is still selling, very beautiful fragrance. Check it out. If you don't have this, maybe you want to add it in the collection. I would say this is more like a solid 8.5 out of 10 in any collection. You should have one soapy perfume. This could be it, Prada L'Homme. So I have last 5 left. I put my most favorite today of this bunch, and I'll show you one by one. Let's go quickly. Versace Purum, classic gentlemanly fragrance. Everybody should have a bottle of this because how beautiful this looks and how beautiful this smells. Short-lived, beautiful projector, and it's just similar to Chanel's Allure Sport, but at a half of price, okay? 100 ml of Chanel will cost you more than 200 ml of this one, okay? So definitely a lot more, for Chanel, but Versace you can still find. This is the most professional signatures and masculine floral perfume with aquatic and a little bit of, I would say, ozonic. Okay, Versace Purum is a 10 out of 10. Still, beautiful perfume. Next ones, you guys can tell, no need to talk much about Dior Sauvage, Johnny Depp. The names, you put them together, it's already a popular fragrance. Their flankers are hit, Elixir is it. But for me, I always stick to Dior Sauvage EDT. And I feel this fragrance, if you get bored of it, you just stop using it for a while. But Dior Sauvage is the best of the lot of this type because the value that you get and the performance. EDT is the best way to go. Dior Sauvage still rules. Number 3, what's a little bit better than Dior Sauvage is, for me, is Bleu De Chanel. Nowhere near as performer as Dior Sauvage, but price also much higher for 150 ml. More prices than 200 ml of Dior Sauvage. That's where I think Dior Sauvage is a better value, but smell-wise, Bleu De Chanel is just a little bit more up class. It's just that opening of grapefruit, man. This perfume opening, many people tried copying it, but nobody actually could achieve pinpoint of this opening. Such high class ingredients. So if you can understand, this will not last as much as Sauvage, but it will smell really good, you can always go for Bleu De Chanel. It's worth the money if you like the smell. Okay, still a classic and top seller from Chanel. It sells like hot cake. Number 2 and number 1. Number 2, one of the favorites is La Nuit de l'Homme. Bit darker juice, you can tell. 2014 version, I think. I have the newer batches, 18, 19, 20. I have gone through multiple batches. La Nuit de l'Homme for me at this current moment, not being very popular, okay? Sad to see 200 mls are being disappearing from market. And this fragrance, not many people ask for, they go to the shop. I don't see anybody's asking for La Nuit de l'Homme. Like in 2015, 16, 17, this fragrance was like the big thing. Nowadays, people are more into some of the newer fragrances, Guerlain or some of the other ones, niche. But sadly, it lost its place, I think, in the community. But people who loved it back then, they still love it. But it's not creating new customers. That's what I'm trying to say. And the prices are going so high on this. The newer version is just literally water. You have to let them sit like 2 years to make it a little bit more mature. But La Nuit de l'Homme, that cardamom and that bergamot, I love it. I love it still. No matter if it's popular or not, I think it holds special place in my heart. But perhaps not at this moment worth the retail price there, okay? La Nuit de l'Homme is a fantastic fragrance for date night in the colder months. Last but not least, my favorite, I have to put number 1. This is my signature scent. I'm sorry, I said 25 minutes and below. Yeah, let's just finish it in 25 minutes. What to do? Dior Intense, big name, big hype. And I really wish they made 200 ml of this or 300 ml. I would buy every single of those big bottles for life because I love this fragrance from the heart. Some people, I understand, they don't have that sort of sentiment that I hold. They are not the biggest fan of this. They say it's okay, because Joy is a person who loves this. This is signature scent, but doesn't mean that this is the special fragrance like number 1 of all time. I agree. Everybody's taste is different. I definitely respect that. My signature scent always been this one, and nowadays it's also a little bit of that that fragrance from Frederic Malle Synthetic Jungle is my second favorite or joint favorite. Dior Intense, just buy this fragrance, man. Dior, some of the fragrances are so good, okay? I'm telling you, this one, Fahrenheit, Eau Sauvage, these are some fragrances, if you're a collector, you have to have them in the collection. Slowly understand why they're so special. Check out my review. This one I still feel is one of the masterpiece. Even I love this more than Dior Homme Parfum. That's it. That's all I have for today. Long video. I'm going to do just the one video. That's what I decided. Hopefully you let me know what are your favorite fragrances and you still feel they hold the value or the sentiments for you. Or if you let me know these fragrances, do they feel dated to you? Let other people know in the comment section which one you value, which one you don't. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.